My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
I do that on purpose so you can hear Orty snap. And of course, I think it is probably, I think it's probably that song, maybe, that gets her excited because I think it's certain music. There's one on, maybe it's Aggie's show, oh no, it's not. It's Aggie's ska music gets her to come around.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but that's Ruby. She's a weird dog. How are you, Orby? This is Cyber Chill, in case you didn't notice from the Ruby talk.
Hi.
Could be a couple of.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, I mean, coming into the show, that song really is one of the few songs that really pumps me up to where, like, if you know the GIF with, like, Snoop Dogg doing the backwards dance, snapping, I'm doing that in my chair. So...
Yeah, well, I mean...
We call that chair spinning on Wednesday night because of the intro to Rick's show. You know, spinning intensifies.
Yeah,
so,
I think we assumed, right? I mean, I think we all just kind of pictured that to some extent.
The one thing about that song, too, I don't know if it's because it's already a parody, because if you don't know, Dead South the band is a parody of bluegrass music. So,
but a respectful one.
It's a totally respectful one. But... Yes. If you don't know, there's a YouTuber. I mean, it's actually a full-form band. He's a phenomenal studio musician, Leo Machado. He does Frog's Leap. And he's the one who does the cover of Toto's Africa and Sultans of Swing that you see me tweet about a lot. He did that song, and I don't know if it's because he's parodying a parody. It just doesn't work. Usually almost everything he does works, and on that one I'm just like, ooh, dude, you're going too far. A little too cringe on that one. But other than that, guys, genius. You just can't cover that one.
If you have a thing for obscure music and you want to talk about it, Ordy would be the person to talk to. Obscure YouTube music.
Al Too Cynical, he is way deeper into music than I am. But, yeah, I mean, you know.
But
also, he got kicked off. Fred Paul of ours, Royalism, he's really deep into music too.
Oddball music, not just music, Ordy. Oddball music.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through my 31 days of Oingo Boingo. It's hard. Plus, you know, life's been kind of getting in the way, so I haven't been able to keep up on that thread. I couldn't even find it the other day because for some reason Twitter is suppressing me from myself. Searching that Amish one in Boingo, I couldn't find my own thread. So.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they would suppress someone from oneself. Suppress one from oneself sounds like a really bad place to be. Suppressing one from oneself.
I don't know. I'm a pretty bad dude. I might offend me.
You offend me sometimes. I mean, for a second, and then I'm like, no, that's funny. Nah, I'm not offended.
So how you doing?
How am I doing?
We didn't get to hang out last week.
We didn't, and I'm laughing, so how bad can it be?
You're doing good then.
Yeah, right? You know, I'm one of those people, even though, you know, I'm a professional, you can tell. You can tell. And actually, if you could find any of them, you could go look at some old disaster video or interview or listen to some of all places, Joplin, Missouri said the dumbest thing on the radio. I mean, it's not that it wasn't helpful. It was a good tip. It was a good thing people need, but it sounded so freaking cringe. That was the only really cringe thing I ever remember saying. Maybe one or two other times I said cringe things and was like, oh shit. As soon as it came out of my mouth, that is a scary feeling to be on camera trying to be serious and say something really cringe and think, oh shit, because you know it shows on your face. At least it does mine. Again, I can't hide anything. So.
Just that panic washing over you?
It totally is, and you know how that is. You can totally see it. But you got to be a cool customer to hide panic.
Right.
Yeah. So, anywho.
Yeah.
That's my life. In a nutshell,
we've got the... out here, we've got the bomb cyclone going on with the atmospheric river. What either of those things mean, I don't know. It just got really rainy today.
Huh?
Oh, and that's climate change things. We've got California's got a bomb cyclone out in the Pacific, and that's drawing in an atmospheric river.
Right. So I had to think about
those things mean, but
I had to think about atmospheric river. And I mean, okay. I think I can picture what that might be defined as. Maybe. But it took me a minute because I'm like, okay, is that some stupid climate change term?
Well, we're not allowed to have weather anymore. Everything has to be the most. So, it's like it was raining today. Have I been in harder rain? Yeah. Have I been in harder rain in the desert? Yeah. So, why not just say rain?
Right?
No, but it's an atmospheric river because it's the most.
Well, if you don't get supercells, then you have to call them something cool. Otherwise, the Midwest looks like they kind of rule everything. So, you need some cool weather stuff in California.
That what it is?
It's probably hard to come by cool weather stuff in California.
Well, we get El Nino and La Nina. What more do you want? I mean, our weather patterns affect the entire globe.
There's nothing cool about either of those things, actually. Like, there's nothing cool about La Nina or El Nino. I mean, it's just not like water spouts are cool. You get water spouts, right?
You know why? Because El Nino and La Nina are actual climate. It's not weather.
Exactly. It's actual science. So it's not fun. Yeah. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So that's why it's not cool, because it's actually climate.
It is.
So make sure you talk to your kids about actual climate. I don't know what I mean by that.
About actual climate. Oh, there's a video.
Okay. Is there? Good.
Yeah, it's a river through like an eon.
Okay.
Animated. What? Not reconstructed. What's the word I'm looking for?
Recreation.
CGI. Yeah. Say that again.
Recreation.
I said no. Well, that's not the word I'm looking for. Well, that's not the word I'm looking for, but they're good enough words. People get the picture, which is what we're trying to do. So, yeah, so it's CGI, but it's when you watch it, you're like, oh wow. So it's not just that one river formed there in a neon. It's that a river and an ocean and a mountain and another river all formed there at different times. And I mean, you know what I mean? It's like people get the picture, and it's more than an eon. I don't know what it is, but
it's an epoch.
I'm not sure what it was because I don't remember. I wish I'd bookmarked it. I didn't. It was a really good video. And I saw it on Twitter. So maybe someone else saw it, or we'll see it again. But it's kind of a wake-up call, I would think, to people who are even like slightly going, well, maybe they might be exaggerating a little bit. You look at it and you go, oh, that's why the doubters doubt. Because it's pretty significant. There's 2 transitions each to mountain, or a mountain, or like a plateau, river, ocean. So it's like river, ocean, mountain, and mountain, desert. It's pretty kind of jarring, in my opinion. Not that I didn't know that, because I talk about geological time in terms of weather. You don't measure weather in human time, even. It's geological time, right? So changes happen in geological time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it wasn't a surprise to me, but I'm like, this is like a really great way to show people, calm your friggin' tits already. Because this happens. Like, isn't it like a 10,000 year cycle?
It's 125. I mean, okay, it's 20,000 years out of an ice age, but yeah. So,
Well, I mean,
yes.
That's a good kind of. Well, yeah. So it's how long does the ice age last? I don't know. I'm not a geologist. We should probably get one on the show and shut up and move on, right? Because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But that was a good video because it shows just how long it takes, but just how much things change over a long period of time. Pretty cool. So yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, we had something really, really stupid. The title of the show. What? What's
that? No, go ahead.
The title of the show is "The Times They Are Stupid."
Yes, they are.
Yeah, because they really, really, really are. Like you can have a 3-hour podcast and talk about everything that happened in a day.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's we I talk about this often. And on Food Bar, we used to have douchebags of the week, and now it's like douchebags of the hour.
Yes.
So
the stupidest thing I've seen on Twitter, probably, and this is in years. Like it's been Anthony Weiner long since I've seen. Oh, wait a minute! Don't say. Yeah. Anyway, it's been that long since I've seen anything this stupid. So it's a girl, supposedly a Democrat, dresses up like a Republican and goes to a bunch of conferences. And then brags about doing it on Twitter. Hey, do you think she got some, since we talk about crime some on this show, do you think she got money from people while she was there?
You're talking about gingivitis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, She looked like a much less attractive version of Cassandra Rules. Cassandra.
Yeah. What's her name? YouTube boob girl. She used to be a big Bernie fan. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, she's. So yeah, she apparently claims that she infiltrated, MAGA, whatever that means, and everything she does, though, it's like a fed honeypot with bad teeth, because she's glowing. She's absolutely fucking glowing. I mean, you think that those guys at the Justice for 1-6 rally were glowing? This chick is absolutely glowing.
Yeah, it's really weird. But it is not, it really wasn't that weird to me, because I've seen enough of those kind of things to be like, yep, there's another one. It was just a little bit different, right? But some people have done that on the left, grifting the right, right? So we mostly see that. But now we've got this chick, and we've got the Lincoln Project, and they're like, I'm like, well, more power to you. Get everything you can out of the left. I doubt you'll get anything else out of the right at this point, because I don't think they like you anymore. So might as well.
And her thing is like, you should see all the thirsty texts I got, and well, of course, okay,
I wonder why she would get thirsty text.
Because she's a thirst trap. She's a glowing thirst trap.
Right. Yeah.
With bad teeth.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like 80s British TV bad teeth.
Well, they look really like, they look not real. I don't know. I don't want to say deep fake, because they weren't even perfect enough for that, but they look like filter teeth or something.
I don't know. She's wearing a cast in the picture too, so maybe she got jacked up. I mean, maybe they were just not being fair, but because the rest of them. But still, I don't know. But no, this one is, there's just going to be a whole bunch of stupid hurt and pain coming out of it. And this is kind of the thing, like when everybody lost their shit over, the porn star at the TPUSA thing. And when everybody lost their shit over, it's like, oh, here's the next big, scandal for the Republicans. And then it just turns out, it's like, oh, gee, you thirst trapped Chuck Johnson and Baked Alaska. Congratulations. Yes.
Right. Yeah, I don't think those guys are still, like, even around.
No, they're not still around, but using it as an example, it's like, oh, gee, you grifted
because
grifters.
I don't even know. See,
Right.
you're like me. You don't even know who the heck they would thirst trap. Like,
Right.
Like, who are you even going after? Charlie Kirk? Why? Is he dangerous? Did he harm you? I don't think so. It's weird. It is just so weird. And like the most boring, they make up the most scandalous stuff about the most boring people in the world.
I know.
It is so dumb.
Oh, bombshell about Ben Shapiro. What? I mean,
right, exactly.
yeah.
Anywho, so that was pretty weird. I don't know. We probably have some cyber stuff.
That one we're going to have to keep an eye on. But that one I just see...
Well, she won't shut up. It's not hard to keep an eye on her because she won't shut up.
She won't shut up. But, I mean, it's... Yeah,
she's wearing out that Twitter account.
Right. 15 minutes... She's going to be burning that 15 minutes up real quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's started yet because she's not getting a lot of attention. I mean,
she's getting a lot of attention, but it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Yet, like, you're kind of talking to the wrong people because we've seen one grift or another like a million times already. So, I guess I'll just never get caught on the left because I know it goes on. It goes on.
No, totally.
Yeah, they're fine with it, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. Bleeping.
You know what it is? They just keep moving around. It's like the Think Progress guys, Ian Millhauser, and they just end up in Vox or something, and then they run their grift there, and then they go over to the Atlantic,
and you realize that I see one thing in my head when you say Millhauser.
Millhouse.
Right.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Every single time, which is preferable to actually seeing Millhauser, which I think is why my brain does it. It says, nope, not that one. There you go.
Right.
There's the connection you want to make. I don't know. But anyway, there's... Okay, so Windows is something that I would rather talk about than the Lincoln Project.
Yeah. I was going to try and help us get out of that. And that, something else that never goes away. Windows XP. 20th anniversary is today. And it's still in use.
Woohoo! It was a good operating system. Like, the shit they do now is worse than XP. People don't want to get rid of it for a reason.
XP was a good operating system. It was, it's when they built 7, they built it on top of that. And, it was kind of like the first... NT server for home. I mean, it was a great one. But let me put it into perspective. We were all fighting with the XP installation while we were bitching about the Taliban the first time.
I know. But they haven't improved the user experience. From my perspective, it's only gotten worse. With the exception that things that should have run without people making them or asking them to actually run on their own now. So much of it works so much better and is better, but the user experience, the interaction between the GUI and the user, I don't think it's better.
Well, that's why they're Windows. If you've seen the GUI for Windows 11, it looks like Mac.
Oh, I haven't.
It's the start button is in the center now, and it's. Instead of everything pushed off to the left, it's more center out like Apple. And But, no, I mean, Windows 10 is fine. It's like they just said in chat. Like Rex just said in chat, Windows 10 in shell mode, so it looks like Windows 7 XP is better, but it's fine. But no, one of the things is Windows XP is still in use, and it has been end of life since 2014. So for 7 years, people have been running on this without updates, without security fixes. This is what we always talk about on the show: patch your shit. I'm not saying you need to have Windows 10 H1 and whatever the current version is right now. I'm saying you don't need to be on 10.
Yes, for Kim Commando level, when it says end of life, when they say this is end of life, that means you're not able to patch your shit ever again.
Right.
You can never ever patch your shit after end of life. So get rid
There's no quality of life updates. There are no security patches. This is to give you an idea, the processor security hole that was discovered 2 years ago, that was actually, it's hard coded into Intel and AMD processors that actually they had to slow down Windows 10 to fix. That's still live in XP. So you have that hole that the whole world knows how to exploit in your computer if you're still using XP.
And that's a shell exploit, which means that they have complete control, basically.
Yeah.
Of everything.
And a lot of people, the reason why they're still using it is because their desktop OS, it's their business software runs in 32-bit mode, and Windows 10 compatibility mode for 32-bit kind of sucks still. You'd think that they would have fixed that now. It's been 7 goddamn years, but it really doesn't. So, there are still 0.5% of all computers in the Windows computers in the world still using WinXP. Half of that are still using Vista.
Yeah, and that's a lot, and the patch is a big deal. If I was a Windows user, and and I am in VM, so I would definitely not be using XP. You got to move on. You're just gonna have to move on, and you only have to move on to 10, and they have an XP-like version, right? And is that still a free upgrade?
We're going to be going to 11 here pretty quick. So just, you know what? If move on. Just embrace the suck.
Okay, well let's talk to people about what they're actually probably going to do, because anybody that's still on XP at this point is not going to go all the way to 11.
Well, but you can't. No, let's just be honest, though, is because if you're still on XP at this point,
get off XP.
You might as well just do it, because 10, it's going to be end of life relatively. Then you've got the same problem.
But they haven't announced an end of life date for it, so you can get on 10 and use the XP shell and DM Orty if you don't know how to do that.
Oh.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry.
You know what? Just get Linux Mint.
No kidding. Yeah. Get WinLint. Anyway. Yeah, so let's move on, because I think we've worn that story out. No, was there something else you wanted to say about it?
No.
It is a big deal.
It is a big deal. It is surprising. I was actually surprised that over 0.5% still uses XP. I don't know how. If you're really hanging on to that beige box, and you're nostalgia from hell, and I don't know. Like I said, I get it. It's some applications, some 32-bit applications just run like shit in 7 and 10. But you know what? That's the problem of your software vendor too, because they haven't updated their shit yet.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That's true.
So while we're talking about old things and new again, SolarWinds hack. Back in the...
Okay, I was on Black Matter, but let's
do it. Okay, no, we'll do Black Matter and then we'll go SolarWinds. That's fine. I'm ready.
Okay.
Also, while everything old being new again, Black Matter is back in the news.
Well, yeah, and because that's where I thought you were going, because you said old new again. That was the first thing I thought about. But anyway, MC Soft, which we've talked about before, their research has been pretty good, I think. So they have been secretly decrypting Black Matter ransomware victims since the summer.
Yeah, it was actually okay. Now, if you don't remember us talking about Black Matter, they were DarkSide, the comedy of errors ransomware group that they would try to do like the Robin Hood thing, rob from companies and then give to charities, and charities like, we can't take this because it's ill-gotten gains. I'm sorry, thank you, but we can't accept your. And then they got their servers shut down, and they just kind of like. Anyway, then they broke up and gave their decryptor keys out. Well, they came back as Black Matter. And they've got their new software out that had a hole built into it, or their own ransomware got hacked by white hats. So these white hats have been on the sly. Anybody who Black Matter was trying to ransom, they'd be like, "Don't worry about it. Here's a decrypt key. So just tell them to go fuck themselves." So yeah,
which is
this is the worst ransomware gag ever.
It might have saved Halloween actually, because so it's really important. There's a candy corn issue, and there's the supply chain is already a mess. So for candy corn to be a mess on Halloween would be horrible.
Right.
So let's give them props. Because I don't think we're going to have a candy corn problem because of them. But at any rate, I think it's brilliant for the industry. It's exactly the kind of thing that, everybody talks about hack back. But people who really, people who study or work in it, or when you're getting hacking back is not really what's on your brain or, after. And it could be after for a long time. What's on your brain is, did they get in? What did they get? That's number one.
Right.
If you're a government, and that's nation state stuff. That's different. You're not the NSA. You don't work in Cheyenne Mountain, so you don't need to be doing that. What you're worried about is, did they get in? Did they get my shit? So for somebody to be working from the perspective of finding vulnerabilities in the encryption itself so that it can be cracked, I think that is brilliant. That's exactly what needs to be happening. We always talk about what needs to be happening.
This is one of them. And this was one where, the Emisoft, they went to the ransomware negotiators and said, hey, if you see anything from Black Matter, don't negotiate. We can decrypt. And so this is actually how Dark Matter figured out that they had a security flaw in their ransomware, was that they started to get really frustrated with ransomware negotiators. Because that is a new business that we've mentioned a few times, is that there's now a middleman who is kind of like the hostage negotiator for your shit. And they do the negotiations with it's like, well, we want $1 million for you to decrypt your stuff, and then you get this company and they get it down to like $750,000 or whatever. But the ransomware negotiators were starting to tell Black Matter, you have to go pound sand. We're not negotiating. So that's how they figured out, wait a second, how come all of our ransom people aren't worried about us anymore? And then they patched their shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you have a decryptor key, you're not worried about the ransomware. And there has been that battle, and there are nonprofit groups that do it. There's been that battle back and forth between decryptors, ransomware, and decryption keys, and there's changes are made to get around them all the time. I mean, you see it if you watch. So, I think it's fantastic. Imagine being the person in the company that's like, everything is locked up, and you make a phone call and it's, oh, that's okay, we've got that key.
Then we get you covered. You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's like getting your test results back, and no, you don't have. There's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. It's great. So, I think this is a great development. I love it.
Yeah, and I do like that the hackback companies are starting to, That's a kind of an indictment on the laziness of ransomware operators too, is because they just keep using the same tools over and over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing I love about the cybersecurity industry is they never do anything that surprises me. Everything wonderful that they do doesn't surprise me. They're, some of the smartest people in the world. They've, do something like this, and of course they did, because they are that smart. When they screw up or do something stupid, or something gets hacked, or something goes wrong, it doesn't surprise me either, because it is so complicated, and there are so many places where something can go wrong. Nothing really surprises me in the industry, good or bad. So
it's just the one thing that to be sure of though is that they will take the path of least resistance. They will be the laziest possible. I mean, and we see this. We talk about this on the cybersecurity end all the time. With CISOs just being the laziest people on the planet, with like it's fine, and then the passwords get breached, and then they panic. But you get it on the other side too, with the ransomware operators and the hackers and everything, where they just keep using the same toolkit over and over again, because it's like a CMS for hacking. It's like WordPress or Joomla or something. They're using these tools, these toolkits that they buy, and eventually, they get broke.
Right? Yeah. Ruby, stop. Exactly. Eventually, everything's going to get cracked, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, everything gets cracked, and if it doesn't, I'd be very surprised. It might take a long time, but I'd be surprised. If anything outlives itself from that perspective. But at any rate, that's really interesting stuff, and I think it's a great move for everybody, not just that it was done, because people have been decrypting, right? Coming out with keys to decrypt malware, ransomware forever. But the way that it was done, I think, was really interesting and a good move.
Yeah,
so,
that was good. I just love that it happened to Dark Matter too, because it's like
they're a pain in the ass.
Well, they try so hard, but they're like, it's like their biggest hack ever was the Colonial Pipeline hack, and it turned into being such a big deal. They're like, look, we don't want this heat. This isn't us. This isn't what we do. This is all of a sudden political. We just wanted a couple $1,000,000 and go our way, and now we're and that's what actually got them shut down and everything too. Is it got too hot for them?
We just want our money. We didn't mean to piss off the wrong people.
Yeah, we didn't mean to piss off the world. We didn't mean to shut. We didn't mean to cause pain. That's not what we do. We just hack people who can afford it. And so it's just kind of like I said, this cyber gang, they've got the worst luck. I'm sorry. It's they're Robin Hood meets the Keystone Cops. Okay, you know what they are? They are the John Cleese, Robin Hood, and Time Bandits. So, you'll have to go watch it. And
I had to put way more thought into that than you did, so I'm sitting here staring at my ceiling going, okay, John Cleese, Robin Hood, Time. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. Apple Dumpling Gang of ransomware.
Sure. Okay, that's a good analogy too, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think that's... I mean, they get away with the money sometimes, but you're like...
How did you pull this off?
Yeah. And did you? But
right.
Anywho. So, speaking of... Microsoft is again talking about this APT that nobody's ever heard of, but them.
Nobelium.
But them and their media contacts.
And
FireEye. Oh, okay. See, yeah, that was going to be my question.
But now they're now known as Mendant, though. They're not FireEye anymore.
Okay, so... But FireEye is going with... So this kind of research is... I have no idea. Okay, so whatever. I haven't figured that whole thing out. But yeah, okay, so FireEye is kind of their partner in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe in this Nobelium group. I haven't seen a whole lot of other people other than the media who is, going off of their press release and the research that they're doing. I'm not doubting that this is a unique group. They don't align it with another group ever, do they?
No.
I mean, we've done this before. The last time they came out with a report like this, we were like, are they aligning it with another? And I don't see. I've not seen when they're due, but they also refer to it in the media as Cozy Bear or Fancy Bear. No, not Fancy Bear. I think Cozy. Bear. Yeah, Cozy Bear. But I've not seen Microsoft. But I've not seen Microsoft do this, and this is just fascinates the hell out of me. Why but also confounds me. Why? Why do you do this anyway? I'll move on. This is another a totally other hack that they did.
It kind of. I mean, it's using the same exploit because okay, so this is the if you don't remember the SolarWinds hack, the conservative estimate was it took 1,000 computer engineers to do this hack. I don't buy it. But anyway, it's a supply chain hack, and this is they're showing that it's still propagating out there that there's 140 companies have been targeted with 14 confirmed cases of the continuing compromise that got the SolarWinds hack in the first place.
Yeah. Okay, so, but this is the same exploit. Basically.
Correct.
It's right, okay.
Same group, same exploit.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they patched it.
Well, I mean, it's like the Exchange server one. It's still going.
Right. It's like people. Yeah. It's like people with XP. Yeah. It's like, I mean.
Yeah. This one. This is Nobelium impersonated USAID in this most recent attempt, and this is what makes them believe that this is still a nation state, an APT.
Because they're impersonating USAID.
Yeah.
Not really. Is that really why?
No, but I mean, the attribution on this one is still a mess.
Well, see, because that I would be. It's not that I would be upset if they considered that as a data point, but it wouldn't be an important enough to name from my perspective, unless it just all of the other ones are classified. See, this whole APT confounds me. You dropped it again, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about that or not.
Okay, I mean, we can move on. I mean, we've got that much more interesting.
But it is fascinating, though. I don't want to like deter anybody from studying it. It's that it's not that I'm not interested in it. It's that I don't know what to say about it.
There's just so much. I mean, I can't say it didn't happen. It did. I can't say that it's not a nation state because it has all the fingerprints of it. I don't get where the rest of it's coming from, though, and how they can say we patched it, but here's the same problem still. And I don't know. It's even confusing for me. This is what I do. Same as you.
Right, I know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's confounding to me because it doesn't, and we've done this before, like with 100 different things, and it's reasonable that there's so much classified, the media's not getting it, so they're obviously not reporting it. So, and they're either not getting the information or they don't really understand it, or it's not clear to them, or whatever. So it's really not clear to me.
And these are tech reporters that are reporting it that aren't making sense.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it is. And so it's not that It's not that I can even put. Well, there are holes in it to me, right? So I'll look at it and I'm like, well, I understand why you would say A, but then when you also say B, those two things don't make sense to me. And we've done that with a lot of things. So I don't know what to say about it except that it confounds me, and they shouldn't be able to use this exploit anymore. Like, can we just like patch everything so they can't?
Yeah. Patch your shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this was 20. It also says it calls them attempts. 22,868 attempts, and they've warned 609 customers. So it sounds like maybe only 609 customers are actually running an environment where this exploit will work, and that would be good news because from what we heard initially, that's a really low number.
Well, remember, this is bespoke hardware, software. This isn't like the Exchange server hack that you were watching the numbers increase exponentially in real time as the globe turned. So, this one was more, bespoke equipment.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so still.
Yeah.
It says attempts. It doesn't say anything about any of them being successful. So, you can have an attempt that doesn't work on a patched system. It doesn't mean that they weren't patched. So we'll say that for them, and that's good news.
Yeah.
Right.
But now let's do this last one and get off of Microsoft, and then go to break.
Well, okay, if that's how you feel about it, which one?
That's how. Let's just do this last one because this one absolutely amazes me. Hackers have gotten a malicious software to get a digital signature from Microsoft.
Wait, now haven't they done this before, but not with ASUS? Isn't this the same thing they did with the ASUS supply chain?
No. This one is there is a. Okay, so in this one, it's when you submit driver signatures, when you submit software, to be digital, to be trusted by Microsoft. So that way you don't get a UAC pop-up every time you're trying to run it unless you want to run an administrative mode or whatever. To just make programs work or make drivers work, it needs to have a digital signature from Microsoft. Well, this is the 5sys rootkit redirects internet traffic to a proxy server, and by that it installs a custom rootkit so that your browser won't warn you of the unknown identity of the proxy, and then this blocks other malware because it is digitally signed. So Windows and AV and malware goes, oh, that's fine. That's what the software is supposed to do. So it's a really stealthy hack.
This has been done before, though.
It has been done before, but this one is proliferating along Chinese Windows 10 computers and targeting gamers specifically.
My favorite thing about this article is in the headline. It says somehow got. Hackers somehow got. Yeah, so they don't know yet how they did it. We'll patch it later.
Yeah, they somehow did it. Well, you think about one of the downsides with Windows, as opposed to Apple, is that so many things are making apps for Microsoft for it to be used on Windows computers. Where like Apple, it's that old thing where it's like Apple does 10 things really well, where Microsoft does 100 things half-assed. That's kind of, it's easy. So much stuff is submitted to Microsoft for digital signature validation that things like this will slip through the cracks. It's bound to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah, I think so. You see it. Sorry. You see it.
I was getting that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fall. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing this goes back to like what the FBI, what the government said after 9/11 is that, the FBI has to be, correct 100% of the time. Terrorists have to be correct once. And this is that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's...
Since then, we've found out that's not necessarily true, that the FBI doesn't ever really have to be correct, necessarily.
Especially since they're manufacturing most of it. But anyway, we've got a lot of that to come back to when we come back from the break.
Oh, yeah, we do. That's going to be fun. So, Orty said that we have to go to break, so we have to go to break now. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mixed with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat basement, average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, in America too. She's a good girl, is crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too. And it's a long living in Reseda, there's a freeway running through the yard. And I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart.
We back. Hero.
We be.
Hero.
Hero.
Alrighty, so it was a short break, but it was a good break. We got some serious stuff we need to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Everybody is spying on you.
You betcha.
That's the show, everyone. Good night.
What was it? Somebody said today, it might have been G, or yesterday. Nobody watches you like the people who hate you. Give them a show.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. And in this case, I'm mixed on this one. I mean, I don't like. All right, so the government is now asking Google to retroactively go through searches done. All right, here's an example. So they want anybody who used the term bomb and paper explosive or, it's all these and or, search combinations to, like, say there was, using the Boston bomber for an example, anybody who searched crockpot and explosive or, something along those lines, to go back and then get the IPs of everybody who searched those terms within that time frame. It seems to me it's overly broad, and it's a little, because as we prove every day, the internet never forgets. It's kind of like going forward in time. If they, it's like the old saying, show me the man and I'll give you the crime. The old Russian axiom. That's kind of like that, where it's like all of a sudden something becomes illegal now, so they can go back to your search history in 2017 and go, oh, Orty Packard was searching for that. He's a prime suspect now.
They could. Or probably more realistically, and something you should worry about more, is if someone is something like the Casey Anthony trial, right? So forget what you think about her, right? It's your sister, and the dead person is your mom, and they're convinced that your sister did it, and they can look through her search history without a warrant. That case hung on search history, right?
Okay.
That's why I brought that up. The search was chloroform. I mean, I know what chloroform is, but someone might make a claim about chloroform on on Twitter, and so I'm going to Google and see if they're. I mean, how many people do that? Everybody does that. You're lying. I'm Googling it.
Right.
So now everything that you see that you Googled could potentially be a keyword. And yeah, they did keyword searches, and they save stuff by keyword, I believe, as well. Mm-hmm. So they have the right to archive information for later, right? So I mean, it's so pernicious.
And I mean, in this case, where this all came from, where this data came from, actually is from the accidental unsealing of court records that the Wall Street Journal got their hands on, and I believe it was in a Tampa Bay bomber case. But one of the things and this is where you kind of have to look at Google and go, okay, on a scale of evil, Google not as evil as government, because more often than not, the government will say, we want this information, and Google says, no.
But the government's vested interest, theoretically, is safety.
That's their job, but...
Well, they're vested in... Right, exactly. But the company's vested interest is profit. So how far... The right in this case, belongs to the citizen. How far do you let either of those entities push the rights of the citizen out of the way? I say zero. I said this on Twitter today. This is where I believe a lot of libertarians fail in liberty, is they will assign the same rights of an individual to a corporation. That is not the way liberty works. The smallest number has the greatest liberty. The rights belong to the individual and are transferred to larger, more powerful
entities
by the individual. That's the way I view liberty. That's individual liberty, which is what libertarianism is supposed to be.
Sure, I'm with you on that one.
Everyone is entitled to their views.
And I do understand the need for justice. However, since that term is pretty ephemeral, where it's, where it's the interest of the government, like you said, the interest of the government is in safety and protecting people. It's never happened in the past where they would just, we can't figure out who actually did it, so we'll just pin it on somebody.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm just like, okay, you know what? That is just entirely too broad, and that's a Fourth Amendment violation.
If the state had not proven that they err on the side of political ideology far too often, then we might not have to worry about things like this. However, it will be abused. Abuse in one case is as bad as abuse in every case.
Sure.
It's not tolerated. It shouldn't be tolerated, period. That's how you do liberty. Ruby!
And you don't have a right to be safe. You have a right to reasonably expect safety, but
you have a right.
And that's where the comeback with a fucking warrant comes into play, in that I don't want to see everybody's individual liberty compromised to catch one bomber. And yes, that is a tragedy.
Right.
But it's a bigger tragedy because once you give up a right, it's next to impossible to get it back.
You have in my mind, you have a right to as much safety as prevents inhibition of your right, as your ability to pursue happiness. If unrest or violence or crime inhibits your ability to pursue your happiness, then you have a right to have a grudge against the state for not doing that. Beyond that, no right. That's how I feel. That's how I think you do liberty.
I would agree. And we got a question from chat real quick. Rex, in that instance, if you trust the software vendor, I would just say go ahead and let it do it.
What's it asking?
He's talking about he's trying to get a patch, and his AV keeps throwing up a warning saying that it's virus. That is probably because it's just what the software wants to do, and in this case a game, because it's always a game. It throws up red flags, but if you trust the software vendor and it's not like an aftermarket mod, then I'd say go ahead. But if it's an aftermarket mod, be skeptical.
And that's why I don't game.
Yeah, well.
It's one reason I'm also not good at it. But, I've considered, picking up Donkey Kong again. Because I rock that shit. Anywho. Yes, I mean, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If they get in your way, it's your right to be safe enough to do that. If the problem that we're having right now is that they're using that responsibility, that jurisdiction, to deny us liberty. That's the part, and at the same time, not keeping us safe. Not keeping us safe. Not.
Okay. Okay, so I have to issue a correction. This wasn't the case of the Tampa Bay bomber. That was in the next story of surveillance.
Okay, yeah, that's another good story about... So, yeah, if you're at least from 2000 to 2008, terrorist attacks really... I mean, we felt safe. I'll put it that way. We felt pretty safe, at least. We knew that they were getting kind of reachy into our privacy. We didn't like it, but at least we were safe. Now we're neither.
Right. And in this case, the surveillance state is becoming greater with less of a reasonable chance of safety or security. And in this case with the FBI, that has been shown is actually the instigator in a lot of these terrorist plots. Not this particular one, but as more often than not, has a greater role in the.
They're using third parties to do a lot of that shit. The way we go after that is to go after the money. And that needs to be done. That needs to stop. And one way that it needs to stop is they can't be paying people, third party people, to collect fucking evidence like that. That's bullshit.
Sure. But in this particular case, this is the FBI has a secret spy plane program, and in this one federal court filing showed that the FBI spent 429 hours in the air surveilling one person.
In a plane, in the air, in a plane. When you hear the cost of an investigation, and you think to yourself, boy, that costs a lot of money, wonder what they spend it on. They spend it on 429 hours in a plane with a Wi-Fi spy, basically, a pseudo cell signal that geolocated a target.
Yeah, we actually talked about these cell site simulators when we were during the riots last year.
We did,
as a way that the police are going to be able to pick ringleaders out. Mm-hmm. And in this case, where they had one in these Cessnas that were outfitted with high-tech HD cameras and cell site simulators, and they would just orbit the suspect's movements. And this is actually there's a lot of Fourth Amendment concerns in this too, because this exceeds the general scope of American legal system. Is that while the police are doing surveillance, yes, they can watch the house, yes, they can follow you, but there is still the presumption of at some point there's some privacy. In this instance, there was no reasonable assumption of privacy whatsoever, where this was an actual Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment violation as well. And while, this guy's a terrorist asshole bomber, Mohammed Momtaz al-Zahari, he's a suspected member of the Islamic State. This is actually, this is excessive even for...
But how? Okay, so in this context, consider how many people were found to be on the no-fly list for no reason.
Right.
And let's just leave those two thoughts there. I mean, because you don't have to go any further with that. Okay. Right. They will spend 429 hours in a plane over your house. B, you can end up on a watch list for no reason.
Correct.
Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's and what's even funny is that the FBI has several front aviation companies that they use for this. So it's KQM Aviation, PXW Services, and these are just small civil air airplanes, Cessnas and like. But yeah, they're completely tricked out for surveillance, and you can actually, if you know what you're looking for, you can track them on Flight Radar 24.
And some people do.
Which is an app. It's a website too, but it's basically it's every plane that's in the sky. So
while we're on this topic, did you see the Revolver report about Ray Epps?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna drop it to you real quick because I might just want to touch on it, but keep going with this one.
Okay. Yeah. So there's not much more to go on this one. Is that this is just this is even without using drones. I mean, this is just using basic, civilian aircraft that you could conceivably be, and this is outside of CCTV, which is, that's a big problem more in England than it is here, but still, you have no reason to expect privacy anywhere you go anymore. And then you bring them into your homes with your smart devices and everything.
So
I know, I'm a hypocrite.
So we were talking about a couple weeks ago an iOS exploit that allows just a random network to connect to you, to geolocate you, right? So we talked about that a couple weeks ago, and that's similar to the device that they have on these planes. So the exploit and the device together make you really vulnerable, and it can happen with networks in your neighborhood. Somebody could drive by in a car and geolocate you. This is why it's important to use a VPN. A lot of you saw what I posted about Nord VPN dropping the trusted network setting. It's really important to this whole process, this whole thing, because if in your VPN, if you don't tell it to only connect to the trusted networks and choose your home Wi-Fi as that network, then one of those could possibly connect to you through that VPN, right? So that's why I was worried about that setting. And it's also why it's important to use a VPN, because it makes it much harder for people to geolocate you. All right, we good?
Yeah, I'm scanning the story real quick. I'm through it now.
Yeah. So, and those were the things that came up, kind of came to mind with me, especially with some of the things that we've heard recently about, privacy and exploits and things that the government, but also criminals, will use to get your details, get all your good stuff. So yeah, and since we were talking about that, the and January 6th comes up, because it always does now. The riots come up. January 6th comes up when we're talking about stuff like this. The Revolver did an in-depth investigation into the January 6th some of the January 6th individuals, and this article is called "Meet Ray Epps, the Fed-protected provocateur who appears to have led the very first 1/6 attack on the U.S. Capitol." So Orty's scanning the story, probably read more of it than I have at this point. So, what's your take on it?
Well, from what I'm getting from this is, if you're not familiar with the Ray Epps story, is that he was one of the first to breach the Capitol building. He was there the night before, antagonizing people into encouraging people to breach the Capitol building, and it's looking like he may be an FBI informant, if not just fucking straight up glowing. But it shows that the FBI had federal foreknowledge of the incitement to breach the Capitol on 1/6. And yes, that's the old fat white guy in the tan jacket with the red MAGA hat. And under questioning from Thomas Massey, Merrick, I keep calling him Merrill because that was the joke on Twitter for 4 years before he actually did become AG, when he was supposed to be SCOTUS, that Merrick Garland, he avoids the question very quickly, with the, I'm not going to break norms. I mean, I'm not going to talk about an ongoing investigation at this time. So this is very concerning, actually. It's one of those things that it's like, on social media, I only half-ass pay attention to because this is the kind of thing that other people will try to throw in my face thinking that I'm a hardcore Trump supporter. And so I do peripherally pay attention to it. I don't necessarily buy into it. But in this case, this is looking more and more glowy.
So this is my thought on it, and this is what will forever stick in my mind probably about this one thing, is that it says that the night before there was a gathering or something, and he was telling people that they have to go in the Capitol. They'll probably get arrested, and they'll probably go to jail, but they have to go in. And then the next day at the Capitol was directing people into the Capitol and telling them they have to go in, pushing people to go inside, pushing people through the barriers. That is an agitator. Was he paid by the government? Who knows? But was he paid? Who knows? But he did it. He pushed people inside. He agitated the situation. This is the second one. This is not the first agitator. The Ford dude. The BLM dude. Remember?
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah. His name is Ford or something. He's another one. And Raccoon Hat there's pictures of him with, climate protest signs. This is 3 very active main individuals that have really questionable backgrounds and behaviors. So I think if you're not questioning it at this point, you're either being disingenuous or you're just completely out of your mind, totally brainwashed. I'm not talking about you. I don't mean you. I mean like
right,
the royal
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just still going through the the story too. Is this is the his treatment versus the treatment of other people arrested for 1-6. He was a known quantity early on, and they finally got around to getting him in July, and they've chosen not to prosecute him. There wasn't the SWAT raid on his house like there was on a lot of other people who were much less prolific on 1-6 than he was. So, yeah, a lot of questions.
They've been looking for grandmas for months while this guy was out walking around, and he's as much an instigator as the Ford guy that was instigating everything. And maybe the Ford guy because he practically pushed Ashley Babbitt through the window. But this is the most inorganic doofus of chaos that I've ever. What would you call it? I don't know.
Yeah, as a chaos agent goes, he doesn't even look like a LARPer. It's like a lot of people, there. You see him, they look like LARPers. He actually looks like ex-Fed.
No, he totally does. It's like we're running...
He's either ex-Fed or he's a CI.
It's almost like he's running his own, demented op or something. He's he's the old guy in the chat room that you're like, okay, don't hang out with him.
Right. No, really, it's it feels a lot like, I hate to say it that this is like, I don't want to give this a level that it doesn't really, I don't know, maybe this is going to be one of those things. This is without this is going to be JFK assassination debate, I think, for quite some time. Which, by the way, did you notice that they can't unredact the information because of COVID under the JFK assassination?
I did see that. It's
only been 50 years. I mean, 60. No. God, almost 70 years. 80 years. Jesus Christ.
It's really dumb.
So, I don't know. I'm having a hard time mathing right now, but it's been a damn long time.
Well, I hear ya. I agree. It's been, like, way too long already. It's been too long already. You know, we missed a ransomware story.
We did. Which one?
Revil, yeah.
Revil's back in the news. Okay, yeah, we did miss that one. And I can't load it back up because I accidentally closed it, and it's my own story.
Well,
here we go.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. So, this one is another one, kind of peripherally associated with the Colonial Pipeline, too, kind of peripherally associated with Russia. But in this case, there was a multi-country operation led by the FBI and Cyber Command and Secret Service and several other countries who took them down for a little bit.
Yeah, they mad though. Well, there's some people that are saying that they're not too happy about it. But yeah, I mean, but they took down some of the infrastructure, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, only in conjunction with several countries, they took down a huge chunk of Revil's ransomware gang's infrastructure, and some of their backups too. Yeah, this is again hacking back.
Yep. This was really effective, right? So.
Thank you, Rex. 58 years. I don't know why I was thinking 80. Like I said, I'm not mathing right now.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, that was the Kennedy thing when I said.
Oh,
anyway.
How long it's been? All right, I got you. Okay, so their spokesman calls himself unknown. In case you were wondering.
Cute.
Yeah, he vanished.
Yeah.
So he's
and then a leadership figure known as One Day with a 0_ Unday. Yeah, he was instrumental in getting everything back up. But yeah, he's like, yeah, good luck everyone, I'm off. And
and so when they restarted their internal systems, they restarted systems that were controlled by law enforcement.
So that was we talk about it in botnets, of getting computers back. You're freeing computers from the botnet. In this case, the law enforcement had taken their computers back over.
Right. Yeah. So I guess had they shut them down to maybe I missed that they shut them down to stop the attack and they started it back up, but the government had control of them, which was pretty cool. So what happened from there? The FBI declined to comment. And so did the missing spokesperson called Unknown.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. The criminals won't talk, and neither will the law.
Right. So, I mean, I expect the law not to talk, but yeah, usually the criminals can't help themselves. But anyway, yeah, so we know what happened.
Oh, so we talked about when the Department of Justice, I think it was, and Cyber Command decided that that ransomware attacks on critical infrastructure should be treated as a national security threat. So that kind of enabled them to go hard, as if it's Al Qaeda. So this was the equivalent of a cyber airstrike. So
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a cool story, bruh.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to tell it again, but that's a cool story. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, I think that was our last thing. I think that was our last thing.
Yeah, that was the board is clear.
The board is clear. So before we get out of here,
right? Yes.
So let's just review.
Okay.
So, always check to see if there's a key for your ransomware. That's number one. Patch your shit.
Mm-hmm. Always patch your shit.
Always. Stay away from guys named Ray Epps.
And MAGA honeypots.
Yes, and MAGA honeypots. Right? Thirst traps. No good.
Right.
All right. And since it never hurts to say it twice,
patch
your shit. Where are you going to be this week?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Wednesday night, I will be on Robinson and Horty with Rick. Thursday night, we're doing another juxtaposition for the month. We've done them every Thursday night, covering demonic possession. And then Friday, you, me, Mickey, and Jen, and a whole bunch of people are going to be doing a live reading of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. So I'm excited about that. And then I'll be back around here on Monday with you and on FUBAR and Cyberchill. How about you? Where are you going to be this week?
I'll be producing for Aggie tomorrow. Brad's on with her too, right? But
yeah.
For Aggie tomorrow at 8:30. So be sure to tune in. And then Friday I'll be on the air with Aggie. There'll be a bunch of other people there too, but with Aggie on Friday at 8:30.
So you're saying you're working with Aggie?
Working with Aggie a lot. It's awesome. Everybody knows Aggie's my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, so it's like a station thing. But yeah, Cyber Wonton on Twitter and Clout Hub and Minds. I'm never on Minds, but I plan to be at some point. I guess.
I like it. I got to get myself to use it more. Every time I try to get over to use Minds or MeWe, then I get into a fight on Twitter.
If somebody posts something from Minds on Twitter and I click on it and I go over there, I'm always like, why am I not here more? Because
I know this is
people post way cooler stuff on Minds than they do on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even better than
stuff over there.
No, and that's I've got to use Minds more. Plus, it's blockchain.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the blockchain is cool. Yeah. Or so people tell me.
By the way, Algorand's almost $2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you listened to me a while ago, you're doing okay.
Yeah. No, I'm hodling that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we're out of here. We love you. We never stopped. We always have.
Always will.
And always will, because this is Cyberchill and not FUBAR. But we'll see you right here next week, Mondays, at 10:10. On average. Something like that. Yep, we're out.
Hell Hydra.
Remember, wontons are just fried dumplings.